Pokémon Horizons episode 82 just gave us the grand showdown we've all been waiting for, the Rising Voltacklers versus Lucius's Black Rayquaza. But really, we all know the real battle here is Roy versus his dream. Will he catch Rayquaza and finally fulfill his dream? Or will this battle prove that it's not always a pot of gold at the end of every rainbow? Let's talk about it, man. When Black Rayquaza appears in Area 0, our heroes waste absolutely no time. They don't even try and talk to Rayquaza or persuade it to join them. They just dive immediately into battling it right off the bat. I find that surprising, but honestly it's pretty cool that Roy wants to prove his strength and his skill to Rayquaza, rather than being forced into battling it. That really shows how much he's grown, man. The first part of the battle was focused on our heroes using the bowl shape of Area 0 to their advantage, attacking from all heights and angles, one after another, overwhelming Rayquaza completely. And their teamwork strategies were really impressive. From Freed riding Charizard to lure Rayquaza into Roy and Crocolor's flamethrower, to Liko's Hattrem trapping Rayquaza with psychic boulders that Florigato then used as platforms for acrobatics, to Quaxwell and Tinkertuff attacking together from above. Roy and Freed even managed to push Rayquaza into a waterfall that Dot made overflow, practically mimicking the strategy they had against Gouging Fire, drenching Rayquaza with water and allowing Captain Pikachu's Volt Tackle to do unimaginable damage. At this point in the battle, I was really loving the strategies and the teamwork and the use of terrain from our heroes. But I'm not gonna lie, I was starting to think, is Lucius's Rayquaza kind of underpowered in this episode? Early on it was missing every attack it used, and it was getting hit around over and over and over by our heroes non-stop. It didn't really feel like it was putting up much of a fight, you know? But Rayquaza very clearly heard me and quickly proved me wrong by effortlessly using Dragon Tail and Dragon Pulse, and easily one-hit KOing Charizard, Quaxwell, and Tinkertuff. So yeah man, clearly Rayquaza has that power and ability to easily destroy them all. It is not a weakling or underpowered by any definition, and this made me appreciate the battle even more, because it shows that Rayquaza isn't just some mindless beast that wants to demolish them. It's intelligent and understands Liko and Roy's path and why they need it. Rayquaza's intent isn't to destroy Liko and Roy, like it could if it wanted to. Its intent is very clearly to test them, to test their teamwork, their strength, their skill, their resolve. Before it decides whether to join them, it wants to know that they have what it takes to reach Rakua and face whatever awaits them there. That's why it allows them to try their teamwork and their strategies rather than just destroying them all immediately. Rayquaza showing this level of intelligence and restraint in a 1v9 battle is so awesome, man. That is one special Pokemon. And yeah, this feels way better and way more significant to me than if the writers took the alternate route and just nerfed Rayquaza to make the battle work instead. That would have sucked, man. But Rayquaza having the power to destroy them but choosing not to feels way better. So Liko's Hattrem proves herself as one of the MVPs of the battle by stopping Rayquaza's Draco Meteor with Brutal Swing and Confusion. She must have a lot of power to do that, man. And basically that buys Kilowattrel and Crocolor the chance to hit Rayquaza hard with Spark and an insanely powerful disarming voice. But Rayquaza very quickly shows again why you don't mess with legendary Pokemon. It uses Draco Meteor and then begins batting down the meteors with Dragon Tail, firing them all at our heroes with unfathomable precision. And this one-hit KOs Hattrem, Florigato, and Kilowattrel. See what I mean? Rayquaza could sweep our heroes if it wanted to, but instead it's giving them the chance to prove themselves, and I really love that, man. Captain Pikachu then gets the chance to show off why he well and truly is the captain, and he uses his Rising Voltackler technique, launching up into the sky and hitting Rayquaza so hard that it's sent blasting off like Team Rocket. But then it comes blasting right back down to Earth with Dragon Ascent, its most powerful move, absolutely destroying and knocking out Captain Pikachu. Man, what a cool little showdown that was. I'm glad that Cap went out like a true champion in the coolest way possible. Roy and Crocolor continue giving it their all as the final battle is remaining, and I love their confidence here, how even though everybody else is defeated, they're still willing to keep going. This is their dream after all. But then Liko and Terapagos connect their resolves and their hearts, both wanting to continue fighting, and for the first time ever, Liko takes her place as Terapagos' true trainer. It transforms and she commands it to use ancient power, hitting Rayquaza really hard, and then she commands it to protect Crocolor with Protect. Man, this was amazing. I love seeing Liko finally commanding Terapagos like its trainer, you know? And clearly Rayquaza is getting exhausted after taking so many constant attacks. Rayquaza and Terrapagos then have their big ultimate clash with Dragon Ascent and Terra Starstorm, their two strongest, most iconic moves, and the absolute explosion from this clash sends Rayquaza crashing into a cliff, and Terrapagos crashing down into the ground, and Terrapagos is about to pass out, but then it suddenly uses the final strength it has to imbue Crocalor with Terrestrial energy, causing him to instantly terrestrialize. This moment was absolutely incredible. Clearly Terrapagos knows this is Roy and Crocalor's dream, their moment, so it provides them the strength to seal the deal, to bring it home. So yeah, with their final terrestrialized power granted to them by Terrapagos, Roy commands Crocalor to use Flame Charge in determination, and Crocalor launches ahead with insane passion, smashing into Rayquaza with immense power, and as Rayquaza blasts through the sky from the impact, Roy throws Rayquaza's ancient Pokeball at it. The Pokeball falls to the ground, and dude, Roy actually managed to catch Lucius's Rayquaza! Roy actually made his dream come true, bro! He did what he set out to do at the very beginning of the series! Yo! And Roy's realization of this, his reaction to it, it was so unbelievably adorable that it almost made me cry. He has tears in his eyes and he's over the moon, everyone is so proud of him. So yeah, this really was such an amazing moment, man. Roy got that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Of course, Roy technically didn't catch Rayquaza, he just returned it to the Pokeball that Rayquaza already belonged to, but that does not diminish how much Roy and Crocalor put into achieving this. Their entire journey, all of their growth, all of their development as battlers and as people, it all led to this moment here. All of that work allowed them to impress Rayquaza enough that it chose to go into the ancient Pokeball that Roy threw. It chose not to break free. Man, I'm proud of them. In my eyes, they've worked the hardest out of anyone in this series. They truly deserve this. And I also love that this wasn't just Roy's battle alone, you know? He had help from all of his friends, and that just feels so fitting for the themes of the show, and for the kind of person he is too. Afterwards, Rayquaza gives its terrestrial energy back to Terrapagos, and this causes it to lose its rainbow shine effect in the process. So yeah, as we theorized, the thing making Rayquaza look all shiny and terrestrialized, that was Terrapagos' energy, and now at long last, Terrapagos has been restored to full power. A final vision shows Lucius, Gibeon, all of their Pokemon, Ristal and Terrapagos arriving at the Rakua Paradise 100 years ago, revealing that Rakua is at the peak of a huge mountain. Liko comments on how all three of them looked so happy before they reached Rakua, and that's so bittersweet, man. Thinking about how the three of them went on such a long journey together, but then it all went wrong when they reached their dream at Rakua. Anyway, Rayquaza reunites properly with all of the 6 heroes and Terrapagos, and bro, this was the most wholesome, beautiful scene ever. Seeing this bunch of Pokemon together again, basically a family reunion, it moved me so much. It's been 100 years since they've all been together. I bet they're all so happy and never thought this day would come. But then Roy tries to recall Rayquaza to his Pokeball, and Rayquaza completely ignores him. You see, Rayquaza is still Lucius's Pokemon, it's not Roy's Pokemon. Maybe it's not ready to entrust Roy to be its trainer, its true partner just yet. And although at first Roy is disappointed at this revelation, he very quickly uses this to fuel himself even more. After all, he did manage to recatch Rayquaza, so he knows that he has what it takes to become a real partner to Rayquaza someday. He knows Rayquaza must at least slightly believe in him, so he sets this as his new dream. He wants to fully earn Rayquaza's trust and become its partner. And I absolutely love this dude. Yeah, catching Rayquaza was his dream, but achieving that dream really was just the beginning of his next dream. Now he has to become partners with Rayquaza, just like Liko did with Terrapagos. That's some awesome writing, man. Meanwhile, Coral and Sidian go to report all of this to Gibeon, and then Brea leaves the group happy that seeing Terrapagos' power will allow her to write her book about Terrapagos. I love that this arc had a big effect on her character, man. That extra layer was awesome. It feels like a sequel to Brea's story in the games. And dude, we then got one of the greatest sequences in the entirety of Pokemon Horizons. It's time for Rayquaza to guide our heroes to the Rakua Paradise. The opening theme kicks in, and dude, the following sequence genuinely brought tears to my eyes. Liko's parents, Roy's grandfather, and Dot's mother all get emails from Liko, Roy, and Dot, revealing to them that they've reunited the 6 heroes, that they're going to Rakua, that they've come so far, and that they're finally all achieving their dreams. And all of their parental figures are so proud and have tears in their eyes. And then as the opening theme continues, we see Rayquaza and Terrapagos flying through the sky alongside the Brave Olivine airship. They're leading our heroes to the Rakua Paradise, dude. All the Ryzen Volt Tacklers are preparing, the whole squad is ready to make their dreams come true, and our heroes are filled with nothing but determination as they get closer and closer to Rakua. And that is where the episode ended. Dude, that final sequence genuinely had me crying. The writers really are setting up the next few episodes, the trip to Rakua, as the big climax, the big endgame, the big final showdown of Horizons. This all felt so indescribably significant in ways that can only be understood by watching it yourself. The opening theme kicking in as our heroes tell their parents about how far they've come, how they're about to achieve what they've all been working towards for so long. It all had such a sense of finality, you know? Are we really at the end of Pokemon Horizons? Man, it certainly felt like it from this sequence. And just the thought of that brought tears to my eyes, man. I love this series, I don't want to see it go yet. Alternatively though, maybe the writers just want us to think we're at the end. Maybe they're setting this up to feel like a climax because they want us to think it's going to be the climax. Just for a huge plot twist to happen, revealing that we're actually only at the midpoint of the story. That's what I'm really hoping for personally. I'm really not ready to say goodbye to these characters just yet, so I'm praying that they want us to believe this is the end, so then the plot twist that it's actually not the end will hit so much harder. That'd be so cool, man. So I've spoken in depth about my thoughts on the episode throughout the review, so I won't yap for too much longer, but there are a couple more things I want to say. First of all, it healed my heart seeing Terapagos and Rayquaza being best buddies again, and obviously, like I said before, this battle and the teamwork and Roy achieving his dream and finding a new dream, that was all incredible, man. But if I'm honest, one of my favourite parts of the episode was actually the sheer scale of Rayquaza here in terms of size. I've always been a strong believer that legendary Pokemon should be huge, far bigger than the games portray them, and certain scenes in this episode, like Captain Pikachu versus Rayquaza, and Rayquaza appearing behind Dot, they really made Rayquaza look like an absolute god, dude. It was so huge. It made our heroes look like ants. And yeah, that massive size really portrayed a real sense of power and legendary status in such a fantastically visual way. I loved it, man, and I wish Pokemon would do that more often. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on the episode below. Also be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed, join our Discord server, and follow me on Twitch using the links in the description. And on that note, after such an incredible episode, thank you all so much for watching, and best wishes until we meet again!